Hello and welcome back to another Final Table review. Today we got a Bounty Hunter special, $8.88 from back at the beginning of the month. What is going on here? We got 380 bucks for the win. There's the other numbers there. They don't really matter. We're just looking for first place. As we can see, I've got 124 bucks in bounties, starting off in 5th place. We'll see how well I can do here today. Alrighty, starting off with the seat selection and introductions, we got Teemo with the big stack, we got Kingsley, we got CKC, Min Sun, Mersdog, JCD, Cotters, we got myself with 18 blinds, and then we got Eurus. As Eurus is going to switch seats with me. That's kind of nice to know. We've got a fair seat sitting right here, right now, in position on the short stack Eurus with a $10 bounty on their head. We see a couple of the short stacks switch positions. How boring is this? As we look and wait patiently for Mersdog to take a seat selection, but their time expired. So now it's my turn. What do we want to do here? I like Cotter's seat. Doobity-doo. I also like my own seat. I do like Cotter's seat a little bit more, so in the end we select to sit to the right of JCD. Mersdog and JCD look to be a couple of weak players. They got some bounties on their heads. So we could have just kept our spot there. We would have been in position on Eurus, Cotters, JCD, and Mersdog. But I wanted to get a little bit closer to the bounties. And I wanted to get a little bit, I wanted to play in position against Cotters. I hope they can stay right where they are. I hope they don't move seats. I'd love to raise into their big blind as the button. That'd be a pretty damn good deal for me. Then we can put a lot of pressure on Eurus when they're on the button, when they're in the big blind, and we're in the small blind. We'll get that opportunity. And then when we're in the big blind, we'll get to play against JCD and Mersdog most likely. And that's just great news for us. Alrighty, in the very first hand we get an ace and a 3 and we're ready to throw it away. So we got 30 blinds to start this bad boy off. What's kind of the game plan? Again, we're just going to use our seat and our position to the best of our advantage. We love where we got to seat. I love where I got to seat. I love where I got to sit. There we go. Holy shit. I love my seat is what I'm trying to say. Doobity-doo-doo-doo-doo. Mersdog will raise and take down the first pot pre-flop. Queen 7 off will be an easy fold. Mersdog using some time bank here. What are we doing, Mersdog? They're going to go for another open. Very interesting. They are not afraid to get after it. JCD will find the call 1 seat over. So under the gun plus 1. 7-2-2 flop. You'd expect JCD to have a lot of pocket pairs or some suited ace X, some sort of strong Broadway holding. JCD on the second hand, we'll just find the fold, and we got a little break. Coming back from the break, we were getting a little coffee, so we wasted about 20 seconds from our time bank, but we'll eventually land on the fold with the Queen 10 off. So what sort of reads do we got on the table? Well, this tournament was played at the beginning of the month, so I don't quite remember. But Eurus, I did have some respect on their name. Teemo, we're starting the tournament off with some respect on their name. They're going to go for the 4 big blind raise. And the remaining players, I think I've got the advantage over them, so we'll see if I can use my skills to the best of my advantage. Holy shit, sentences are getting really difficult to construct this morning. As Teemo raises and takes one down pre-flop. Eurus in the tank. We'll find the fold. Cotters goes for the open. Mersdog will call from the small blind. Ace Jack 3 flop. Mersdog leads out. This is very fishy. We shouldn't be doing this, Mersdog. What does it matter though? We're just taking note. Another small bet by Mersdog. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Mersdog goes for a full pot size bet on the river. What do you have, like some sort of two pair? Ace 3 maybe? 3-3 potentially? Man, I wonder what's going on there. Cotters potentially had some sort of straight draw going on there. I think like some sort of king queen, maybe a weak ace x, maybe a pair jack, some sort of king jack, queen jack. Anyways, what does it matter? Cotters will go for the raise. CKC will play call from the cutoff. Mersdog comes along as well. We're going to fold the 10-5 off in the big blind. Ace 7-4 flop goes check, check. Bet again by Mersdog. They're just throwing the heat. And then Cotters goes for the min raise. This is way too strong. He should either go for a bigger raise or just play call. The min raise on the flop is interesting. They do get paid off, so maybe they're playing their opponent instead of a reasonable strategy as Mersdog folds an ace. Boopity boo. Cotters shows him the ace as well. So nice little fold there by Mersdog most likely. They led flop. They get min raised. It's very likely Cotters had the better ace there, or at least two pairs or some shit. Limp pot by Timo. This is interesting. They went for the 4x raise earlier, electing to limp in this time. We'll take note of that. Timo is switching up their pace of play. King queen 10 flop goes check. See if Timo stabs. Nah, they check. Kingsley will check it as well. 8 of hearts on the turn, so we got a flush draw now. Doobity doo 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 doo. Timo goes in the tank and checks it on over. Kingsley checks as well. Do 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 do. 3 on the river and yours leads out. Everybody folds, so we'll never know what happens. Gonna get to flash the money there once again. We're just looking for the first place finish. 380 bucks up top to go along with the bounties would be swell. CKC will open it on up. Cotters in the big blind. Seems like the type to defend rather wide. They're using some time bank here. They might go for the 3-bet option. No, they do just land on the call. King Jack 3 flop. Flop goes check, bet, raise. Holy shit, and a big raise at that. 6 more blinds for CKC. Is this some sort of like aces slow played pre-flop? Nope. Ace king? Nope. King jack maybe? 3-3 maybe. Interesting hand there by Cotters to go for the big raise on the flop. CKC will find the fold and we're moving along. 9-4 suited. We'll just let this go. Timo in the big blind with what? I don't know. I was going to say an ace and a 3. Ace queen jack flop. How would I know if Timo had a 3 and an ace? I did play the final table. Potentially there was an unconscious reminder. Nope. Timo folds on the flop. A jack for Cotters leads on out. That's interesting. Very interesting play by Cotters. They're up to 64 big blinds. King 4 off. We'll eventually let this one go. Boppity boo, boppity bee. Cotters will raise big. That's interesting. 2.5x. Kingsley in the big blind. In the tank. Wasting some time here. Raise. Do it. Do it now. All in. Nope, we'd pick a smaller size, I think. Kingsley playing 30 blinds deep, just lands on the fold. Do 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 do. 5 and a 2. We'll let this go. Waiting around patiently. CKC with another holding gets the opportunity to play. Raise under the gun. Min Sun will call. Ace 9 3, or that's not a 3. Ace 9 8 flop. There we go, goes check, bet, call. We're off to the turn. 9 of spades, completing the rainbow. Min Sun might have picked up 3 of a kind. They might have a weak pair of 8s. Or ace with a weak kicker. Could they ever have Jack 10 as well? Queen Jack, like maybe. We see CKC go for the little Betsky, and Min Sun shows him the 8. Timo shows a 9, boppity boo, and then we get a couple of kings, the Cowboys. Are they coming to save the day, or are they going to end my day? What sizing do we go? We could go for the big sizing, as we've played tight as right. We elect to go for the 2.1x size. Get a call from Timo. Min Sun will go for the 3-bet here. We're licking our lips. Do we play call? Do we play jam? It's a very interesting spot. I believe Min Sun's 3-bet here is going to be super strong. So what I like to do is rip it all in. What we could do is play call. Look to keep Timo in. And then also get away from our kings on some ace-high flops. With that being said, I think the easiest play is just to rip it all in. And again, I think Min Sun is going to call here with whatever they have. Whether that be ace-queen suited or 10s. Whatever the fuck it is. Min Sun will find the call, and I expect Timo to fold most often. They could always call with some 9-9 through jacks. In the end, Timo finds the fold. Min Sun finds the call with a couple of queens, so my read was spot on. Jack 7-5 flop. Running cold is right. Can our kings hold? Yes, they do. 5 on the river. Good shit for us. So we got a big stack now. That's what we came to see. 57 big blind pot. What place does that put us in? 3rd? Oh, yes. This is the shit that we came to see. So it was a big cooler in our favor. Nothing our opponent can really do there other than go for the 3-bet, call it off. Right? I'm pretty sure queen is just mandatory 3-bet. They could have always played call and seen that jack high flop. In the end, I think stacks would have still gotten in. So again, the only change we could have done was played call, kept Timo in the pot. Maybe Timo had some sort of ace-jack suited or something. Maybe they would have flopped top pair and would have been willing to put some chips in the middle. So we potentially could have got paid more, but in the end, we get the full double with king. Jack 9 off under the gun. We'll let this one go. It will be interesting to see now that we got some chips. We're in 2nd place position. We'll get the opportunity to throw those chips around. And again, we're loving our seat. We got more chips than Cotters. JCD sitting to our direct right. Jams it all in when they're in the big blind. We see a raise, a call, a jam. Only a $10 bounty on the line, so it's not very enticing. But there's a lot of dead money in here. A lot of dead money in the pot, I should say. Min Sun will be the one who ends up calling ace-king versus king-9 suited. Bad call off, but a 9 on the flop. Oh no. 10 on the turn. Any aces, dealer? No, we get the queen. We folded a 9. Dippity-doo. Murr's dog folded the other 9. So a 1-outer for Min Sun. JCD gets really unlucky, but they're gone to Alonso. We all get the ladder. Min Sun gets the small bounty. King 7 off if folded to. We got a few options. We could limp, we could jam. We could also go for like a 2.5x raise. In the moment here, I like a 2.5x raise. In the moment during the game, I went for the limp. If yours raises to any size, I think I fold unless it's 2 big blinds. If they make it 2.5 big blinds, it's just, I think, going to be a fold. We could always jam facing that. But that's a lot of words that don't really matter. We get a 9-4-2 flop. So interesting stuff. We could bet, and typically when I lead, I bet half pot. But in the end, we land on the check option. I think it would be a check call with the king high. We see the 1 big blind bet. 9-4-2. We don't got any backdoor straight draws, but we got the backdoor flush draw. King high could be good here. We get the 10 of spades on the turn. Eurus, again, a player I respect, so I'm going to show some respect to the bet on the turn. There's still so many draws that we're ahead of that I could find the call, but I think the difficulty is going to be on the river, where I think they're going to fire another barrel. And then on the deuce, do I just call? Do I call a jam? Like, I don't think so. Do I call a 5 big blind bet? Man, that seems like it would be my strategy if I'm calling on the turn. But I'd elect just to find the fold, and we'll give Eurus a small pot. Queen 8 suited, facing the limp and a raise. We'll find the fold. Boppity boo. So we're still sitting in second place, but Cotters and Min Sun are right on our tail. Timo. Interesting stuff to go for the limp. King 8-8 flop, so we would have flopped 3 of a kind. That don't matter. The Queen 8 suited was just going to hit the muck facing the pre-flop action. Min Sun will bet and take it down. Ace and a 3. If folded 2, we could go for the raise. It doesn't necessarily play the best, but that ace sure is powerful. Min Sun will go for another raise here, this time a 3-bet. Kingsley with the open under the gun will call. 10-6 4 flop, 2 diamonds out there. So we've got plenty of straight draws, plenty of flush draws. Get the 3 on the turn, so 7-5 if one of these players have it, that I'd be rather surprised, but it makes it straight on the turn. Get the jack of spades on the river, so the flush draw misses. It goes check check. 8s versus ace queen, and Kingsley will take a nice pot. One that puts them in second place, right? They're in the big blind, so if they lose this hand, oh, they'll still be in second place. We're real tight. Real tight up top, and then we got a couple of shorties, CKC, Merzdog, and Eurus. Folds around to Cotters, who will go for the big raise pre-flop 2.5x. Timo in the small, going in the tank, will fold. Kingsley in the big blind will call. King, queen, 5 flop. Goes check, bet, fold, and we're swiftly moving along. 9 and a 4, we'll let it go. Everybody's folding and we're swiftly moving along. Timo on the button. Likely to see an open here. They go in the tank for a second or two. Raise, Timo, raise. They might go for the limp as well. That seems like what they've been doing of late. No, they go for the big ass raise once again. 162,000 chips. Wow, that's a big raise, Timo. So they either go for the big ass sizing pre-flop or limp it on in. Timo's looking to be a little bit more of a fish as the final table progresses. No offense, Timo. But they're losing some respect here from me. 6-3 suited from early position. We'll just let this go. Eurus thinks about it for half a second and finds the fold. Doopity-doo-doo-doo-doo. Cotters goes in the tank and goes for the 2.5x raise. Min Sun in the big blind. Nope, that's the small blind. Is thinking it through, and they do go for another 3-bet here. So we've seen them 3-bet quite a bit. My read earlier might have been wrong about them 3-betting strong and solely strong. They might have plenty of 3-bet bluffs, so maybe I should have called with the king-king. As we see Min Sun dunk it all in. What do you got? King-king. Queen-jack for Cotters. Queen or jack, or otherwise Min Sun's going to win a huge ass pot. We get the jack of hearts on. Oh my lord, PokerStars. Why did that happen? We would have made a flush. That doesn't matter. Min Sun gets sucked out on the river here with about 80%. And, is it 80%? No, I think it's more than that going to the river. Fuck, I just gotta quit guessing the percentages because I just can't remember them early in the morning. Anyways, Cotters gets a big bounty. They get a big stack, 3 million chips. We're in third place position, pretty well tied with Kingsley. CKC goes for the open. Mersdog calls. We cover them both. Jack 8 off. I think we go to the flop. We could also just fold, but I think calling makes the most sense. We cover them both. Let's just look to make a hand post flop. Instead, we see a king 4-2 flop, so we get an easy check fold. The thing is, I could also just tighten up a little bit and only play the suited connected stuff, but I says to myself, I cover them both. Let's try to play this one post flop. We get an ace on the turn. Not the type just to randomly bluff here. 10 on the river. We could always go for the bluff as we block queen jack. It would be super interesting if Mersdog raises and we jam. Whoa, that would be cool. Instead, we're going to see a Mersdog raise and we'll swiftly fold. Do 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 do. Jack and a 4. The Robbie hand will happily let this one go. Cotters will raise and take it down pre-flop. 9 deuce will happily let this go. Boppity boo. How boring. CKC goes in the tank and finds the fold. Mersdog goes in the tank and does open it on up. Eurus is thinking things through. Their turn to use a little time bank. 14 blinds behind will jam it all in, and Mersdog swiftly folds. Jack and a 2 will let it go. Lots of folding going on here. We played kings. What else? We've played the kings. Yeah, we're just playing the strong hands, I guess. The Jack 8 off. Now that we got some chips, we'll be able to throw them around, but we just gotta wait and at least have some sort of holding. We can't play 9-4, Jack 4. Ace King 4 flop. We'll see a check bet call. Queen on the turn. Jack on the river. After it goes check check, Timo will lead out super small. 70k into 430, and CKC will go in the tank and likely call with 2 pairs or some shit. Instead, they go for the raise. They must have the straight. Timo finds the call. King 10 for the straight. And then a pair of aces for Timo. Says so sick. What do you mean? You should have folded on the river there. Anyways, we got a couple of 3s. Let's go for the open. Yeah, Timo has lost all the respect. If yours jams, we just fold. If Cotter's 3 bets, I think we fold unless it's super small. If Timo 3 bets, again, the same deal. If it's super small, then we'll call. Otherwise, we're just folding to 3 bets. Anyways, the raise gets through pre-flop. How boring. 7-5, we'll let this one go. Mersdog in the tank. We'll find the fold. Timo goes for the big open. A little bit more than 4x. Mm-mm-mm-mm. 8-5, we'll fold. CKC will limp it on in. Mersdog will think things through and probably check it back. Ace 7-6 flop goes. Bet fold, and we're moving along. CKC actually elects to check. Mersdog will check. CKC will bet on the turn. 3 of spades. We got a bunch of flush draws. 4-5 makes a straight. And Mersdog will just let it go. Whatever it was. Ooh, ace king in the big blind. Eurus, raise, do it. Do it now, Eurus. If Cotters raises, we're going to go for a 3-bet. If Timo raises, we 3-bet. King, if anybody raises, we 3-bet. But what I'm saying is non-all-in 3-bets. If Mersdog limps, we'll go for the 3.5x raise. If Mersdog raises 3 blinds, we'll jam happily. We're quite ecstatic to have an ace and a king is what I'm trying to say. Almost under all circumstances, we're just ready to raise and get this one in pre-flop. Although, to be fair, we'd likely be flipping against a pocket pair. Like jacks or queens or some shit. Kingsley deep in the tank here. Hopefully they open it on up. Kingsley, very deep in the tank, will find the fold. Mersdog will oh no, ace king gets a walk. What a damn shame. Would have been a bad flop. 10-9-6. We don't care. So we're swiftly moving along. A 7 and a 4, the same suit. If folded too, we can limp it on in, or again we can go for a small raise. Sometimes people just jam here from the small blind. I want to preserve my chips. It's still like 12, 13 blinds yours has. So we don't want to jam the 7-4 suited, as CKC will go for the open. Kingsley still sitting out. That's bad news for them. Queen Jack 2 flop. Goes check, bet, fold. No, check, bet, call. 10 on the turn. Ace king makes a straight. King 9 makes a straight. 9-8 as well. There's a heart draw now. Eurus could have a lot of that shit. 10 on the river. Obviously not the ace king for Eurus. I'm talking about the draws. Some of the 2 pairs that make a boat on the river. CKC checks back the turn. So you don't expect them to have too strong of a holding. Eurus goes for the small sizing. Very reasonable. CKC could have checked back something strong like queen queen. Go for the river. Oh no. Could go for the river jam. Instead, Eurus shows up with the king queen. CKC calls down with the pair of jacks with the ace kicker. Queen 8 suited isn't open. We go for the 2.1x size. If Eurus 3-bets, we'll fold. Eurus lands on the call, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting that. 7-6-4 flop, all diamonds. If check 2, personally I'm not going to stab, but you could. Got the straight draw to the 5, could represent the diamonds. Instead, the flop will check around. We get the 8 of spades on the turn, so a one-liner to a 5. Let me know what you would do here facing the 5 big blind bet, 2/3 pot size. Personally, I just dunk the queen 8. Any 5 makes a straight, 9, 10 makes a straight. Now any 9 makes a straight. We have Eurus behind us. Then we've got all the diamond draws. I just don't think queen 8 is good here. As we see Cotters go for about a 9 big blind bet on the 10 river. And Eurus finds the fold. Nine and a 3, we'll happily let it go. So I think the only difference we could have done on the queen 8 hand there is bet on the flop. Facing the big bet on the turn with Eurus behind us, I think we do find the fold. Doobity-doo-doo-doo-doo. Mersdog will raise it on up. 8-4-2 flop goes check. Timo in the tank here. They're not checking, are they? Finally, they land on it. Mersdog will bet about half pot and take it down. Queen and a 2 will happily let this go. How boring. So we don't have too many holdings to play. We had a couple of queen 8 suiteds. One of them we played. A jack 8. Couple of kings, gave us a big stack. But that's kind of what we came here to do. We came in 5th place. We're just going to wait around patiently, wait for the good holdings. So far, all has been well. We see an all-in from Kingsley with the ace-jack. Ace 8 for Timo. What a freaking fish. What are we doing, Timo? Just an 8 for Timo. Is there dropouts? I don't think so. Oh, the 5 is the dropout. My bad. There is dropouts. A 10 is a dropout. What about a queen? I don't think the queen's a dropout. What about an ace? I don't think an ace was a dropout. No, it's not. A couple of 5s will go for the open. So yeah, Timo definitely not playing the best cards here today. Kingsley becoming a stronger player. We should show some respect to them. CKC's been getting after it. Should show some respect to their name as well. Then Eurus in position on us is going to play call. Cotters comes in for the 3-bet. Super small. If we're being honest, I like a call, but we're 35 blind or 30. Oh, fuck, we got 35 blinds behind. Oh, we better do the rabbit thing. Oh no, we're never gonna know if a 5 was coming. We clicked it, but it was a little too slow. Jack 9 suited, we could go for the open, but in the end we're gonna land on the fold. That's bad news. Cotters will go for the 3x raise. And get it through pre-flop and show the ace. So I guess Cotters just picks up a few strong holdings and we're moving along swiftly. I wonder if we're going to see some more 3-bets from Cotters. I don't think the 5-5 is necessarily the best call as we're set mining, and we were getting a great price. Eurus was still in the pot as we see a limp, and then Mersdog from the small blind raises to 2.2 big blinds. If we didn't have such a shitty holding, we would love to call here. Said Cotters will come along. Queen 9-5 flop. Mersdog will bet small. Get a call. 4 on the turn. Whoa, and Cotters will bet and take the pot down. Mersdog done with a hand. 10-9 off. We could do something if folded too. What do we want to do? I suppose we're playing the limping game, but we should probably find some way to pick a raise, some size, and then go from there. That should be our strategy against Eurus. King Jack 5 flop goes check, bet, fold, and we're moving along. Do 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 bitty do do. 9 and a 3 will happily fold. Mersdog thinking things through. Got about 20 blinds. They're just gonna land on the fold. Eurus with about 12 in the small blind. We'll rip it all in. Cotters with a whole bunch of chips in first place won't double up Eurus, won't go bounty hunting. It's a very small bounty on Eurus's head, so Eurus will get one through. 8-6 we'll just find the fold. Doobity doo 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 doo. Kingsley will raise it on up from under the gun. Cotters will 3-bet. Another small sizing. Out of position, you'd expect to be the raise a little bit. You'd expect the raise to be a little bit bigger, but on the final table, typically the 3-bets come down in size. They become a little bit stronger. The ranges become a little bit tighter. Sometimes, on these final tables, maybe you'd expect the ranges to get a little bit wider. As we see a 9-5-4 flop, Cotters will check fold, and we're moving along. 7 and a 5, we'll let this go very happily. Boppity boo. Here, Bekatom and Nurnam. I couldn't read it in time. Not quite too sure what Timo was saying there. Do have some German blood in me, but I can't intuitively pick it up. Ace Jack 4 flop. Goes check, bet, call. 3 on the turn. Turn goes check, bet, call as well. 9 on the river. So 1 million chips in the middle. CKC has about 550k behind. They'll rip it all in, and we get a call from Timo with the pair of jacks. Queen getting max value. Whoa, what a play by CKC. I wonder if they thought they were bluffing. We get an ace and a jack. We'll happily open this up. So we got a weird situation here. We're playing 26 big blinds deep. We go for the raise if yours jams. I don't know what to do. Do we call? We get Timo calling. And we get a 10-8-3 flop. What do you do here? I go for the super small bet. I think I should pick up a little bit bigger size. But Timo elects to jam it all in, and I suppose we'll land on the fold. Even though, see, this is the problem with picking this size. We needed to pick a size that would at least stun him. So maybe like half pot. As we wouldn't have made a hand. That doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of how we played the hand, and I'm not a big fan of it. So we could have check called. Hopefully it goes check. We could also go for a bigger bet. And I think I like that over the small ass bet. Even though, if I'm being honest with you, if I've got ace or any of the strong over pairs, I'm going for a small ass bet there. I'm building a pot. But in the end, Timo shows me no respect. And maybe for good reason. King 3-2 flop. Goes all in call. Merzdog. With the pair of fours, what the fuck? 7-2 calls it off with the flush draw. Doobity-doo-to-do-to-do. We would have made a boat. That doesn't matter. We get the deuce on the river. So Cotters gets a $15 bounty. Merzdog is Gonzo Alonso. And we're swiftly moving along. 7 deuce for Cotters. 7 deuce suited. 7 deuce for me. And I'll happily fold. So CKC's got a nice big stack after getting a full double up with the queen. They got 2 million chips. Timo down to 1 million chips. We are back in 5th place. That's a damn shame. Just no holdings. That's fine. We misplayed the ace jack, I think. Didn't lose too many pennies, but we still lost some. Maybe we should have lost a few more as well. Maybe we should have lost less. I think there was two options that I could have went for, the bigger bet on the flop or the check on the flop. Either one of those might have been a little bit better than the min bet. As we see Eurus rip in their 10-11 big blind stack, Cotters will find the call. We got a king and a jack versus a couple of sixes. Doopity-doo, jack on the flop. Any 6s or 7s or 2s? Holy shit, good card for Cotters. We'll get another jack for Eurus, so they get a full double, and we're in last place just like that. That's bad news. We are up to 2nd place at some point. Got $142 locked up. That's not quite all important. So we get the ace-8 suited. Surely we should open this one here. Oh no, don't you dare. Oh, he did it again. So ace-8 suited. What's the game plan? Are we just waiting for a stronger holding as we see? Did I just see into the future? Cotters goes for the open. Timo will rip it all in. And we would have flopped. Okay. Open-ended straight draw. But to be fair, if we open, Timo will still jam. Cotters might 3-bet and we would fold to either one of those. But I still think I should have went for the open. I think I'm missing out there with ace-8. But with that being said, I have played a tight game. And I don't think I'm getting respect from Timo anyways. So maybe that's why I elected to fold the ace-8. So it's like, if Cotters isn't going to respect me, if Timo isn't going to respect me, I'm pretty worried about both of them 3-betting. The ace-8 suited hits the muck. Ew. Still feels gross saying it out loud. Cotters limps it on in as we have a queen and a jack. We're quite happy about this, but then Kingsley goes for the raise to 3 big blinds. I will fold to this, as Kingsley has been snug, just like myself. Kingsley's playing a strong game. We get a 9-8-3 flop. Without a flush draw and straight draw. Kingsley goes for the bet ski about half pot and gets a call. 5 on the turn. All in over bet by Kingsley. 1.3 million chips into 840k, and the bet will get through. 10-7, not much we can do here. We'll let this go. Do 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 do. Do bitty do do bitty do 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 do. 9-8 suited. This is a fun looking holding. We see a limp from Timo, a limp from Kingsley, and we'll let it go on the button. It's a damn shame. Maybe we should come along, but I don't think so the more I look at the situation. The dream is obviously you go along to the flop and flop a freaking flush or straight or some sort of strong draw, you know? We see a king 5-2 flop. 9, or that's not a 9, that's a jack on the turn. So I'm just wondering, should we call? Go post flop with a suited connected hand? I don't think as low as 9-8. Maybe jack 10 suited is the bottom. 10-9 suited might hit the muck as well. Do 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 as we see 7 scoop a pot. Do 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 do. 7-4, we'll let this go. Eurus with 20 blinds on the button, we'll find the fold. Cotters is gonna limp it on in. Timo in the big blind. We'll check it on back. Ace 10-10 flop. Goes check. Check. 5 on the turn. Cotters will go for the big raise, 125k into 175, and the bet will get through. 8 and a 2. Wow, we could use a strong holding here. We could use one. Sliding under 1 million chips. Blinds up to 60k. They're getting expensive. As we see CKC go for the open. And take it down pre. Timo speaking a little English. That was easier to read. King Queen suited. Ooh, strong holding here. We're not going to jam. We'll just go for the open. Hopefully we don't face a 3-bet. Hopefully we don't face a 3-bet. Eurus in the tank will jam it all in and we snap fold. Do we ever call here with the King Queen suited? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Eurus is not afraid to call pre-flop. Timo's going in the tank, they'll find the fold. And we get a Kingsley all in, so it comes a snap fold even easier. Ace King for Kingsley, 9-9 for Eurus. Ooh, Ace King Queen flop. 8 on the turn. Any 9s dealer. Nope, a 6. So Kingsley pretty well gets a double up, a little bit less, but more importantly a $10 bounty. Look at that, they're tied for first place now. Kingsley in a fair spot, playing on a weak final table. That's all good news for Kingsley. Do 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 do. If there is something that I do remember from the final table, I'm pretty sure Kingsley let CKC have quite a few opportunities from the small blind, as we see Kingsley fold and CKC fold as well. Get a walk with the king high. 6-5 suited to fold it to. I think I like a limp. Do playing against Cotters. We'll keep ranges super wide. We are only 13 blinds behind. 10-10-8 flop, one heart out there for us. Just going to be a check fold in my humble opinion with the 6 high. Get the deuce on the turn. 165k in the middle. Feels like we're going to take a stab at some point potentially. Ace on the river. I would love to see a bluff here. It should get respect. Oh no, we check. We show down the 6 high. King high for Cotters, which I think would call if we're being honest. But I still think I would have liked the bluff. What size should I have gone? I think I should go super large. Like, do I jam? No, not that large, but like a slight overbet, like 3.5 blinds or something. I think that would have got the job done, or would have been at least a very cool bet. Instead, we just show down the 6 high. CKC goes for the open, Cotters 3 bets. Timo will fold the big. Another small bet by Cotters here. Call from CKC, Jack 5 2 flop. Do. Cotters bets about half pot. CKC lands on the fold, and we're swiftly moving along. So CKC is getting after it. Cotters is doing a lot of 3-betting pre-flop. Timo's doing a lot of being very aggressive just by getting after it. And then Kingsley and myself have been rather tight, as Kingsley gets a walk. But then again, Kingsley playing a very strong game. Oh, and we get a couple of kings again. So the question is, do we jam or do we go for the min open? We go for the open. 13 blinds. We're going to do quite a bit of jamming here. But a hand strong as King will go for the open, and hopefully we get a call. Hopefully we face a raise. Instead, we just get it through pre. What a flop, 3 of a kind. Do we ever limp? Interesting. We could have limped. No, I like raising. I'm not the type to limp it in. Although it's a fair strategy. Only from the small blind anyways, I do the limping. Timo goes for the 3x raise. Queen deuce suited will fold to the big raise pre-flop. If we went for the smaller size, I would have went to the flop, but Timo says let's go for the big size. So if Timo's raising big and limping, and then you see the big raise from Timo, I'm just going to land on the fold. And we get a jack and a 6, it gets folded to us. We could limp it on in again, but jack 6 isn't as playable as 6-5, so we just fold and move along. So ace 4, I don't want to fold. Don't do it. Oh, shit. He's going to fold, isn't he? I think we go for an open. Just a spot that I missed, but maybe I'm looking into the future, and Cotters goes for the 3x raise. Timo with the 7 and a 5. We would have flopped top pairs. We could have been in real trouble, or we could have got a double up there potentially. But had I went for the raise and Cotters 3 bet, I would have folded. So that's probably what would have happened. Instead, I took the pussy route and I folded pre-flop. Cotters goes for another raise. Kingsley will defend the big King Jack 9 flop. 2 clubs out there. Queen 10 is a flop straight. And then there's some more straight draws out there. We see a check bet raise. And Kingsley will take it on down. Ooh, ace king. Blinds go up. So we've got 11 blinds. I think I'm more willing to jam it all in here. We could also go for the min open. Let me know what you do here with the ace king. Do you go for the min open? Looks like in the end I'm going to land on the all-in option. Offer up the $64 bounty. And the jam gets through pre. Ace on the flop. So again, looks like we got one more money if we limped it on in. I don't like limping it in. I'm not going to do that. Had we gone for the raise, who knows what would have happened. Nine 4, we see a limp and another 3x raise from Kingsley. We'll happily let this go. We'll let the 2 big stacks go to war. Ace 10 5 flop. So we do have a 2-way battle brewing between Cotters and Kingsley. And then the other 3 players, Timo, CKC, and myself, we're pretty well just battling it out for 3rd place. And that's like who's going to get 5th. If I'm being honest, it kind of feels like Timo's going to get 5th. And then myself 4th. CKC will probably hang out longer. Then we got a heads-up battle between Cotters and Kingsley. It'll all depend if anybody can get back in the game. But that's kind of how it looks like it's brewing. As we see Timo pick up a nice pot, so maybe I'm the one who's getting 5th place. Boppity Boo will never know until the show's over, I suppose. That's a stupid-ass sentence. Anyways, Jack 4 will find the fold. Cotters in the small blind. What are we going to do? Limps it on in. Could start to see a lot of raising from Cotters. Rather large, playing Timo. Look to put some pressure on them as they're looking to make a few ladders. Not this time. Ace, queen, 5 flop. Goes check, check, 6 on the turn. Goes check. Check, 9 on the river, completes the flush. A few straights get there, and goes... Whoa, 10 high for 7 deuce? What is Cotters up to? Why are we even playing 7-2? Why don't we just fold that pre-flop to king 10? What do we do? If folded to, I do like some sort of action. Oh no. So do we raise fold? I like a raise fold if we're being honest, but we go for the open fold. Cotters will go for the big raise. And take it down pre. Do-betty do 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 betty do. Jack and a 5 will find the fold. Do 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 do. 8 5 4 flop goes bet and a fold. Nah, CKC's gonna raise. Oh, they call. Of course, the one option that I didn't say. CKC in position gets the opportunity to see the river for free. We get the 6 of diamonds. Goes check, check. And ace 4 is good for the pot. 9 6 in the big blind. Facing a 3x raise from Kingsley, we'll have an easy fold. Ooh, a7 suited. So we don't want to see a Timo open, but if they do, I think it's a good jam. If CKC opens, I think I jam. If it folds to me, I think I jam. A7 suited feels like too strong of a hand. If Kingsley opens, maybe I fold, because they're a little bit more snug. Blind on blind here. I do just like an all-in for 10 bigs. We do get a call by Cotters. Ace 4, so we got about 60-some%. 4 on the flop, that's pretty bad news. But a freaking 7 on the turn. How about another 4 on the river? Nope, we get the 10 of hearts. So just like that, we survive. Get the full double up, get it in good. And we're swiftly moving along. Ace 6 this time. I do like a raise here, once folded to. But you know what? Seems as if I'm just going to play snug. As we see Timo rip it all in facing the limp and take it down pre. Another spot where we just look into the future and see that our opponents have strong holdings, so we just pass on the marginal spot. Jack 8 off will fold. So we got just under 20 big blinds. We're out of last place. We're kind of tied up with CKC. Timo in last with as well like about 18 blinds or something like this. Three-way pot, 10-4-3 flop goes check. No, 10-9-4 flop goes check, check. 3 on the turn, 9 on the river. After the turn checks around, and the river checks around. Looks like ace high is good for the pot for Kingsley. Do 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 betty do do. King and a 3 will find the fold. Do 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 do. Hurry up, bold. Wasting a little bit of time bank there. Do 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 do. Big ass raise by Timo. And the big ass raise will get through pre. And they show the ace ace. 6-5 in the big blind. I don't think we want to call any raises. We'll see what happens here. Folds around to CKC. And they go for the limp here. Interesting. Could always raise. We elect just to check it on back. 7-6-2 flop. Again, we could check here. We could go for a small bet. Looks like I'm going to elect to go for the small bet. Do we ever make it half pot? right around what I went, but a little bit more than what I went. We bet and take the pot down. That's pretty good news for our 6-5. Blinds go up. 8 and a 6 in the small. Do we limp? I think we can just fold. We do want to play against Cotters, but we're out of position. And 8-6 would have flopped 2 pairs. Oh, what a time it would have been if we had just limped it on in. Ooh, King Jack suited. Facing the Kingsley Open. I would love to see a jam here. Do we ever go like 5 big blinds? I don't know. I think I jam or fold. In the end, we land on the fold option because Kingsley went for the open and we played tight. And we can read into the future. Timo will rip it all in with 3-3. And King Queen for Kingsley finds the call. Ace Queen 9 flop. 3 on the turn. So Timo gets the full double. Had we ripped it all in pre-flop, I think we would have saw 2 folds. I don't think Kingsley calls my jam, but I could just be wrong, as they called off Timo's jam with the King Queen suited. I just think Timo's a more active player and I'm the tighter player, so you'd be more willing to fold. But again, I could just be wrong. $64 might be enticing for Kingsley. Potentially getting the ladder could also be enticing. So who knows? We'll never know. Although to be fair, I think the spot is a jam or fold. King Jack suited. And I think I should jam. Jack 7 suited this time. Might just let this go. And we do. Cotters will go for the open. 2.5x. CKC in the big. We'll call Ace 6-3 flop. Oh, we would have flopped the flush draw. That don't matter though. CKC will check it on over to Cotters, who will bet half pot. And CKC quickly folds. And we would have made a flush on a double paired board. So we don't even want the flush there. If Timo raises, we call. If Kingsley raises, we call. Except they raise big typically, as we would have flopped top pair with the King 7. We're getting another walk. So it looks like CKC's the next on the chopping block. It's kind of what we hope for. His team has picked up a nice stack now. And there's us hanging out with 18 blinds. 8-4 suited. We're just going to find the fold. Again, I probably should play some of these holdings against Cotters. But I think at the same time, I should tighten up, wait for CKC to bust, or find the opportunity to get that bounty. As they go for the open here, Timo in the big will call. Jack 7-5 flop goes check. Right? Surely you're checking, Timo. Timo checks. CKC bets 2 big blinds. And Timo quickly folds. Ooh, we get a break. Queen 8 suited. I think we can open it on up here. We could also just fold and look for a better spot. In the end, of course, I take the passive option and fold and look for a better spot. I think a raise would get some respect here. We'll see if the fortune telling has continued. I think there's been a few too many spots that I've passed on, if we're being honest. But that's mighty fine. We got a strategy coming into the final table, which is wait for some bodies to bust, look for some bounty opportunities. We put ourselves in a great seat. Got the king in versus queen to start things off. Got some chips. Unfortunately, didn't pick up any holdings really. As we get another ace king, we'll go for the open. Cotters will come along with a call. This is going to be difficult to play post flop, but here we are. Cotters in position. We get a Kingsley call as well. 10-4 flop goes check. What do we do? No straight draws, no flush draws out there. We could go for a really small bet. I elect to check it on over. Cotters bets half pot. Oh boy, I've got no idea what to do here, if I'm being honest with you. I think I should probably call, but with that being said, what do we do on the turn? We'll have 11 blinds behind. So in the end, I'm going to land on the fold option, but this feels weak as all hell. as we would have made a pair of kings. Cotters probably had some sort of pocket pair, if we're being honest there. I don't think he would have had a 10 nor a 4. I think it was a pocket pair. Or some sort of weaker ace X, so maybe we should have called. So I don't know. I don't know. We get a couple of 8s. CKC. What do you do in the small blind? So we've seen a couple of limps. We could go for the non-all-in raise, 12 blinds deep. I do actually just like a jam. If we got like aces through what, like 10s, maybe we go 3.5 blinds. As we would have flopped the frickin' set. I do like raising the 8s. I don't know if we should go all in, if we should make it a smaller raise. That's the question. In the end, 8-8 will take the pot down. Then we get an ace and a jack versus Kingsley's open. Again, this is another 3-better fold spot. Would be super cool to see it. We do stack it on up. Oh, and the jam's coming on in. There it is. I'd expect Kingsley to start opening up a little bit more. And the ace-jack jam will get it on through. So we pick up a nice little pot there pre-flop. King deuce suited, we could raise and take the pot down pre-flop, hopefully. Oh no, we're going to fold, aren't we? Oh no, we find the fold. Once again, Cotters limps it on in. Jack, jack, 5 flop. So should I just play tight as right for the time being? I do like my situation on the final table here. So I don't really want to be going after all the marginal spots. And I want to make sure that I still have respect on my name for being a tight player. I want to use that image super well. Or I want to use it a lot, sorry. I want to use it to my advantage. There we go. Holy shit. Sorry, sentences just started coming out and they didn't make much sense. Anyways, we get a raise from the king queen, a call from Cotters once again. Timo folds the small. Kingsley will complete the big blind. 9-5-3 flop goes check, check, bet, fold, fold. And we're swiftly moving along. So when we do go for the open, we're certainly missing the flop. There's been an ace-jack, an ace-king, the king-queen here, jack-8 earlier. From the big blind, we see the 6 on the turn. Kingsley leads out and takes the pot down. 10 and a 3 will find the fold. 14 blinds deep. Boobity boo. CKC with 9.5 in the big blind. So we see we got $180 locked up. That doesn't really matter. We want the 380 for first plus all the bounties on top of it. That's what we're here for. Timo thinking things through. We'll find the fold. Kingsley goes for the open. We got a 10 and a 2. We'll happily find the fold. Hopefully CKC rips it all in and busts out. Although, to be fair, that $36 would be nice to collect if we could find it. That would be nice. 6-3. No playability here. We'll just fold. Do 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 do. Do boo boo boo. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Kingsley in the tank. Deep in the tank. Wasting some time. We'll find the fold and Cotters gets a walk. Queen 9. Do we raise? Not likely. Could we raise? You know what? That's a very questionable open. The Queen 9 off. I don't hate myself for folding it, but the Queen 9-5 flop sure makes me wish I'd played it. Queen 9, eh? Queen 9 offsuit. Dippity-doo. Cotters will raise and take it down on the flop. 8-4 suited will fold. Cotters gets another one through pre. Boppity boo, boppity bee. Queen 3 under the gun, we'll let it go. CKC has 7 blinds in total, so Cotters goes for the open. Timo using some time here to think things through, will find the fold. And CKC lands on the fold as well. Oh, and shows the aces. Jack 4 in the big blind. Hopefully Kingsley folds, CKC limps it in, and we get to go to the flop. Otherwise, looks like a fold facing a raise. Kingsley in the tank will fold. And CKC for 6 blinds rips it all in and takes it down pre. So CKC's shown some switching up of the pace. It isn't surprising to see now that they're the short stack. We get a King 9 suited in the small blind. But to see them rip it all in is not surprising at all. But they've been limping earlier. So it's interesting to see just when your opponent changes up the pace and you take note of why they do it, as we get King 9, it folds to us. I do like a jam. We could also limp it in. We've shown the willingness to limp it in and check down 6 high. I hope that's come back to help us out here, as we're going to check down the King high this time. 6-6-4 flop, ace on the turn. You see, it's interesting, I like a check call. It might look a little weak or fishy, but I do go for the check call on the turn here. And 7 on the river. So some straights get there, such as 8-5, 5-3. So what do we do if we face a bet? I'm not too sure, but it goes check, check, queen deuce for Cotters, and we'll take the pot. So we could have ripped it all in pre-flop and avoided this situation, but I do like playing post-flop, so we go for the limp. Ace 3 on the button. We could always jam, look to take down the blinds, but I think that's a little bit too wide. It just doesn't play well as a min open, I don't think. Timo laughing it off. Couple of threes. Do we just rip it all in? Do we fold? What do we do off 12 blinds? I'm not quite too sure, to be honest with you. A rip all in makes a lot of sense. But we've been looking into the future, and it seems like it's happened once again. Timo goes for the small 3-bet here. This is a super strong action. Cotters will rip it all in. Timo will call. 10-10 versus ace-queen. We had a couple of threes. 10s are holding for the time being for the 5 million chip pot. For the ladder, oh, how swell it would be. We get to 7, so Timo is Gonzo Alonso. Cotters gets the big bounty, $84 plus the ladder. And now we're down to the final 4. We get a 7 and a 4 in the big blind. Folds around to CKC, and they rip it all in and take it down pre. Blinds go up, and we get a 10-2 suited. We'll just find the fold. Would have flopped the pair of 10s, but that doesn't matter. Queen and a 6. We'll just fold. Easy stuff. Limp pot. 6-5-3 flop. Goes check, bet, raise. Ooh, 8 on the turn. Yes, $230 locked up. Doesn't matter. River goes lead, call. Got a pair of 6s for Kingsley. That's a fishy play. As Cotters makes the straight on the river. Kingsley didn't know where they were throughout the whole hand. They did have the best of it with the Jack 6, but Cotters gets there on the river. So I suppose they just felt committed to the pot, as they'll rip it all in facing Cotters limp and get it on through. So just like that, it's anybody's game. It's anybody's game for second place. Cotters in first place with a healthy 5 million chip lead. CKC has done a lot of raising. This time they go for the 2.1x raise. Don't quite know what to think about it. This isn't necessarily weak. This is strong. We got a playable queen 10 off. Go in the tank. Flop top pair 10-6-2 flop. Don't know what to do here. CKC bets 1.5 blinds. Do we call? Do we jam? Do we fold? Again, it's not weak what CKC is doing. This is certainly a strong play. I do like a call better than a jam, but I do land on the jam option. And CKC shows up with the jack, so we're going to need a queen or a 10. Queen or 10 dealer? Queen or 10? One time. Oop, nope, it's not happening. So CKC shows us the jack. We show up with the pair of 10s. CKC owns me. And looks like we're going to get 4th place. We've got a blind left. All in from Kingsley and a call from Cotter, so we might get 3rd. Ace 8 versus Queen 10. Throw it a queen or 10 dealer. 3-2-2 flop. 6 on the turn. Doopity doo. Put a spade out there. 10? No. 9 on the river. Ooh, ace 8 and 1 blind. CKC, what do you do? Do we fold? I got 1 big blind and an ace. I think I just stick it in here. Do you fold though? And hope somebody else calls? Ace 8 4-handed. I do end up sticking it in. And CKC shows us the bad news. Ace king. We're going to need an 8. Put it out there, dealer. 16% of the time we'll be a happy man. Surviving with 4.5 blinds. Not this time. In the end, we get 4th place out of, I believe, what was 1,000 players. So not too bad of a showing. 4th out of 1,111. That's kind of cool to see. 4, 11, 11. In the end, we knocked out 13 players, got a whole bunch of dollars in bounties, and got a pretty nice score, $350. So, suppose that's not too bad. Would have much rather preferred the 1st place finish. But, you know what? We didn't get it. Hopefully, in the next video that comes out tomorrow, starting in 1st place, we can have a little bit better. Oh my lord, we got a tournament starting. A tournament starting. We gotta end the video. So we got the tournament starting here. That's cool to know. But the video tomorrow should be a fun one. Made another final table yesterday. No, on Saturday, and we're on Monday. Come on in 1st place position. We'll quickly just give you a little teaser. Brendan Donk comes on in, 1st of 11. There's the teaser. Big ass bounty on our head. $70 collected. Should be a fun one. Alrighty, so I suppose if you made it all the way through this bullshit and this boring ass episode, Brendan makes a final table. I appreciate you stopping on by. If you got any tips to make the show a little bit better, they'd be greatly appreciated. Other than that, hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Adios, amigos.